Hat on or hat off?
You're good, just like that. All right, so this is Ben. I am at Sea Otter Sunday morning, and I am here with Mark Landsaat.
Landsaat, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Sea Otter.
Sea Otter, and so what do you think, Sea Otter so far?
It's been great for us. Yeah,
this is your big.
This is the big reveal.
Big reveal for Noble Bikes.
Yeah, it's we launched. Was it Thursday?
Yeah.
I can't keep my day straight anymore, and. Yeah, we've had, we have a couple features that I believe are unique to our bikes, and we've had a lot of traffic, and, we've been talking about bikes for the last 3 days, and, yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. So what we are going to do, we're going to sit down and record podcasts after this.
Okay.
But what my goal with this is just to give people just a visual of each one of your bikes.
Okay.
So we'll just run through, give some highlights, talk about, we were just talking about internal routing, so you got something different going on there, something brakes, fork. So you have some things to point out. We have 4 bikes here in the booth, so tell us, walk us through.
I love like details in design, and so when I went about to design these bikes, one of the things that you highlighted already is that internal cable routing. I mean, internal cable routing is pretty common, but ours is easy to set up, so you're not going to hate life for like a half a day. And it's
or just slam your bike on the floor because you're sick of it.
Well, I mean, internal cable routing is a little bit of a pain, but ours is relatively easy to set up. It's uninterrupted too, so it's full housing, basically borrowing from mountain bike technology. There's a very small chance of dirt getting into the cable, so once you install it, it should last for a really, really long time.
Yep.
And then I developed a brake standard, which is flat mount 160 and flat mount 180. I've worked together with brake suppliers on that, so it's endorsed by several brake manufacturers. And it totally makes sense. Flat mount was developed for 140, and you space up to 160 with an adapter. With FM 160, you do basically the same as you do with post mount. You just modify the dropout so that the dimensions are the same as they would be for flat mount 140 with an adapter, but you mount directly to the frame. It's much cleaner, there's less tolerance stack, you lose the adapter, there's less chance of resonance, there's less chance of vibration, less chance of brake squeals.
And do you have that one example? So it's stripping out wise too.
Yeah.
So instead of stripping out a frame, what you're doing is you're...
Yeah,
if you did mess up, you'd be, yeah.
For sure, like a lot of bikes in the market are post mount, and if you do post mount 160 or post mount 180, the threads are in the frame and not in the caliper. So if you over torque it or you cross thread it, there's the potential of destroying a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 frame.
Yep.
With flat mount, one of the big advantages is that the threads are in the caliper. So if you do mess up, you're destroying a $50 part and not a $3,000 part.
Yep.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, definitely nice. So that's the Noble GX3.
Yep.
And one color?
Right now available in one color.
Okay.
Beautiful blue. We're just getting started, so like that.
No, I just want to make it clear for these guys.
Yeah.
And then what else? The fork.
About the fork. So when I designed the fork, I have some background in gravel bike design, and some of my designs that are out there on some of the forums, riding gravel being one of them, it was pointed out that the fork was a little bit too harsh. And so when I set out to design this fork, the crown stayed visually and structurally the same, so you get the stiffness for steering and handling, but then I scalloped out the front end of the fork and brought it in, so the front profile is a little bit smaller than the previous forks that I've done, and that results in increased vertical compliance. Mm-hmm. So it should deliver the same handling as forks that I've done previously, but with increased vertical compliance.
Okay. All right, so and then we have the same, this is the carbon version, the GX5 right behind it.
And another thing that is unique to Noble Bikes is that we're using, I'm calling it forward geometry because it has to have a name. Forward geometry is borrowing from mountain bike technology, and over the last couple of years, mountain bikes have grown in top tube length, stems have gotten shorter, it changes the center of gravity where the rider sits. And we did that with the gravel bikes as well. We didn't go overboard, but our top tubes run a little bit longer than what you would normally expect to see on a gravel bike in combination with a shorter stem. We prototyped it in steel. I wanted to make sure that it was behaving the way I was expecting it to behave before we committed to carbon tooling.
Yep.
It's very stable, and the big advantage actually comes in smaller sizes. Anything from a 54 and below, we can now bring the seat angle back a little bit and bring the head angle up a little bit so that the handling is more optimized for those smaller sizes. but because the wheelbase is potentially longer, you're not getting toe overlap with the front wheel. So we have much better handling. There's a handling benefit in 56 and up, but it's exaggerated. The smaller you go, the bigger the advantage of forward geometry.
Okay, there you go. All right, so we have, what do we have over here?
We have the CX3, a cross bike.
Okay.
Being based in Seattle, and Seattle being totally cross crazy, like I'm already seeing crosses coming on my Instagram feed. It is 70 degrees in April.
Yeah.
You can't be considered a serious bike company without having a cyclocross bike, and so we did a cyclocross bike, and it features a lot of the same stuff as you would expect to see on the GX3. So the uninterrupted internal routing, the flat mount 160 brakes. It is cyclocross specific geometry. I am one of the guys that really believes that geometry for gravel and cross are not the same. They're totally different. Less clearance, obviously. Our gravel bikes can all easily run 40 tires, and depending on your rim tire combination, you can probably run up to a 45. It's officially rated for a 40, but with a 40 you have actually a lot of clearance.
Okay, actually, let me bring you over here and check this out. So what do we have on here?
A 40, on a wide rim.
On a wide rim.
So this tire measures 43, and we have quite a bit of clearance in there with the 43.
Yep.
So
there you go. All right, so then we have the Noble TX329. So what is that all about?
Well, the TX329, I come from cross-country racing, and so I wanted to do a bike. This is not a cross-country race bike. This is a trail bike, but
you could use it as that, though.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, it's not...
Yeah, 120/29 trail. I actually believe that is like the new cross-country.
Pretty versatile.
Yeah, I think 100 mil travel. Like we'll always have like World Cup level style, super lightweight, 120 mil, or 120 mil. But I think the 120/29er is an incredibly capable bike,
I would challenge most riders to jump on that and try to use all the suspension for the average person.
Oh, for sure.
Try it.
Yeah, depending on where you ride. If you go out and ride in the Pacific Northwest at exit 27, you'll use all the travel. I can guarantee you that.
Yep.
But this is basically the perfect exit 27 bike. Long climb up, and then pretty gnarly trails down. Where this bike is just a ton of fun. It's a single pivot 4-bar, which I believe in today's market makes for a great suspension system. It's highly pedal efficient. It's relatively braking neutral. Our bike is also low leverage ratio. I'm a firm believer in that. If there is any pedal motion, it's really easy to combat with valving on a low leverage ratio system. Much easier than if the system would be high leverage. And this bike features FM 180. It's a flat mount caliper mounted directly to the chainstay with a 180 millimeter rotor. And that's an open standard that we developed with several brake manufacturers as well. So anybody that wants to use it can use it. All the technical data is available for free. And it has the same benefits as FM 160 on the drop bar bikes.
All right, cool. I think that.